Hi guys, welcome. Julie here. Today I am going to go ahead and make a video to talk about all my favorite comics and why I love them so much. And of course, if you are interested, I will not be spoiling anything. I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about them, what they are about, and just why they are my favorites. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, we have X-Men 92, House of 92. I don't know why that took me a minute. Yeah, this is by Fox, Espen, and Sylvia. So in this one we have Professor X, Magneto, and a very mysterious mutant with strange powers, and they are trying to establish all mutants on the island of Krakoa. And yeah, I really enjoy this one. This is really either loved or hated, mostly because of its attachment to the 90s cartoon, so a lot of people feel nostalgia for it. Personally, I haven't watched it, so maybe that's why I'm not so harsh with this, but I do find myself rereading it from time to time. I think it's fun, it's light, I really love the colorisms that is used, and I think it's just like a good story. I think the conversations between the characters is so lighthearted and fun, but they have that obviously plot of things getting serious and real, and I really liked it. So yeah, this is going to be X-Men House of 92, and the back is pretty cool. It shows you all the characters that are involved. Yeah. The Hellions, my baby, they are up next, more specifically volume 1. This is by Wells, Segovia, and Kirill. Yeah, so while the island of Krakoa has forgiven all mutants of their past crimes, there are still some troublemakers that are amongst them, and they don't really know what to do with them. Therefore, they set up the Hellions, and all the little troublemakers are set to kind of work together and figure out what to do that is good. I really like it. I love the conversations between them, and it's just like establishing volume 1, it's just establishing like the roles they are playing, why they did what they did, and how they interact with each other, and it's just so freaking fun to read. Yeah, I love them. Next up, we have Dr. Doom, Books of Doom. This is by Ed Brubaker and Pablo Raimondi. Dr. Doom, you either love him or you kind of love him, or you hate him. But Dr. Doom this is like his origin story as to why he is this misunderstood evil genius with doing his things. We go into his childhood, as well as his teenager years, as well as his overall goal in life and what he's trying to accomplish. It's really this one main thing, and anything that gets in his way from doing this one main thing, it's kind of collateral to him. So yes, evil or goal-oriented, I don't know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I really like this one. I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of Dr. Doom and you just want some insight on his character. It's really dark, it's creepy, but it's really understandable, because once you get this evil genius's goals aligned and you see what his focus is on, you could kind of understand where he's coming from and why everything pisses him off. Yeah, definitely recommend this if you're a fan of Doom and you haven't read it. Alright, next up we have The Children's Crusade, The Adventures by Henberg and Cheong. This one is probably one of the first Marvel comics I went out of my way to go and hunt for and look for, and no regrets at all. This is one of my favorites of all time. So in this comic we follow Wiccan, and Wiccan is forming these powers, and they're taking shape, and everybody is kind of scared because they don't know what route he is going to take, and everybody has their hands in the cookie jar in trying to guide him. But there's essentially only one real person who is able to guide him, and that's the Scarlet Witch, because she has similar powers. In this comic, don't worry, this isn't like a spoiler, it's on the back. In this comic, is Scarlet Witch his mother, or is she just somebody who has a coincidence of having his powers as well. Yeah, I really like this. I think the characters are so freaking good in here. I love all the superheroes that are in here and the role that they play in this story. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's kind of like a little family reunion with all the like characters, especially on the cover, and the part they play in the story is so fun. Yeah, I really love especially the conversations between the young Avengers and how they talk to each other. It's just really, it's really heartfelt to read. So yes, if you haven't read it, recommend it. All right, next up we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and this is by Tom King, Billis Quilsley Alvey, and Matthew Lopez. Yeah, Woman of Tomorrow. I had just read this year, and I knew a quarter of the way in that this was gonna be one of my favorites and a baby of mine because it's so freaking great. In the story, we follow Supergirl, and she is not dealing with her grief from the loss of her planet in a healthy way. She definitely has some interesting coping mechanisms. She is once at a bar in this alien planet, and then we go ahead and get introduced to this character, Ruth, and she is an alien girl, and Ruth has just had something really heartbreaking happen to her, and she's looking for anybody to help her get vengeance and revenge. And so Supergirl is there, and she's not necessarily taking the job, but she's not denying it either. So they kind of go on this adventure in this story, and they're traveling from planet to planet together while having these really wholesome moments and the discussions about like grief. And it is so, it's just everything to read, and I definitely recommend it. No hate to the movie, definitely like the movie, but it doesn't really hold a candle to the comic, and I think that's just something that is so worth reading. Is like, this is what it's all about, you know. All right, next up we have Batman Year One by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. You are stepping in to Gotham, but in the first year that Batman decides to kind of take shape and figure out how he's going to handle the criminals of Gotham, as well as stepping alongside Commissioner Gordon. And I really love how they didn't paint Commissioner Gordon in the the bright night of Gotham sort of light that they are so used to. I think that's what really makes this like a really good comic, is you're getting layers to these characters that are kind of only seen in one way. And yeah, I think the artwork really does make it feel like so old, and like you're in that time that like Batman had first decided to like show up in Gotham. Really old-timey, and I really like this one. I think it's so fun, and in the back you kind of get like the rough drafts of like the comic and how it came to be and the ideas that they originally had. Really like this, really recommend it. I know it's essential like DC reading that I see in a lot of comic book videos, but it's also just like a really fun story to read, just to like see characters in other versions that people created for them. Yes. Sorry if I'm talking fast. I just had coffee, and I made this video and then it got deleted, so you can understand that I feel like that was like a rough draft of this video, so sorry, because I'm even catching myself and I'm like, wow, I'm like talking really fast. All right, next up we have Batman Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison and Dave McKean. I definitely recommend this, especially because October is coming up, and if you haven't read it, it's just so creepy and spooky. So we get the backstory of Arkham Asylum and how it came to be, but what really makes this comic for me is truly the disturbing artwork, and it is so creepy. We just get like a look, and we get the like backstory backstory on it. And oh, when I had first read this, I was so creeped out, and I read it at night too. So yeah, like this little like thing, it says, afraid? Batman's not afraid of anything. It's me. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that the Joker may be right about me. Oh, so heavy and just so creepy and spooky. I really can't tell you anything more about it without ruining it, but it's essentially just like a backstory on Arkham Asylum. And yeah, I definitely don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if you are more interested into going into like the deeper, darker, gritty parts of Gotham. I don't think you would be disappointed. All right, next up is Batman Under the Red Hood, the deluxe edition. This is by Jude Winnick, Doug Mahnke, Tom Nguyen, and Alex Sinclair. Yeah, in this, in case anybody doesn't know the story of the Red Hood, so Red Hood is essentially the second Robin, and that's Jason Todd. And Jason Todd is killed by the Joker, or so everybody thinks, because 1 year later in Gotham, he takes the disguise of the Red Hood, and he's taking out the drug trade as well as challenging Batman, as well as hunting down the Joker. But if you've seen the movie, that's kind of like not really new. In this comic, you get different characters, different storylines, and just an underlayer, like complete comic to everything that is that and more. Yeah, the storylines in here like definitely threw me for a loop. I think they were so interesting to read and how they put it. And yeah, it's so heartbreaking what had happened to Jason Todd. And if I'm being honest, the new comics, they kind of don't really know what to do with him, but in this one they do. His origin story, his whole life, as well as a tale about grief, betrayal, and vengeance. It's just so, it's so freaking fun to read, and it really just captures you. And yeah, this comic is everything and more. I really love this, especially because I'm a huge fan of Red Hood. And yeah, this is just so heartbreaking at times, and it's so understandable at others. And yeah, I definitely recommend it if you haven't read it. Alright, next up we have It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth by Zoe Thorgood. This is a comic that I had recently picked up this year. I got it at my public library and I loved it that much. This comic follows Zoe Thorgood and her life as being an artist and a comic book maker, as well as really heavy on the mental health awareness that she goes through. It is so interesting to read something that you have once felt, and somebody was able to write it down so perfectly, and they were able to create this story that you relate to so much. I definitely recommend this, especially if you're a young girl who doesn't really have an easy time with expressing themselves with anything other than like your hobbies. So like YouTube, comics, artwork, drawing, sketches, like those could all be used to express yourself, but like at the end of the day you don't really still know how. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really love this book and this comic, and I definitely would recommend it, especially like I said, if you're just interested in seeing feelings that you have once felt in a really perfectly relatable way. Alright, next up we have Ghost World by Daniel Clowns. So in this story we follow Enid and Rebecca, and they are antisocial high school graduates who don't really know what to do with their life until Rebecca decides to take a more conventional route to adulthood with getting a job, looking for an apartment, while Enid is still stuck mourning what she once had with Rebecca, which is their close friendship, as well as just trying to discover who she wants to be and what route she's trying to take without Rebecca by her side. I really love this. I love the story. I love the artwork. It's so old school. And I think the dialogue could be really funny at times, and I don't know, there's always something about like antisocial best friends that is pretty much like it captures my attention for sure. Yeah, it's also a movie with I think it's Scarlett Johansson and Thora Birch. Really good movie as well, but the comic is just like really cool. I find myself going back to that one a lot, just taking it with me in my purse or something. Like I haven't read the story and I'll still be like why? Like, it's weird. All right, the next one we have is going to be V for Vendetta by Alan Moore and David Lloyd, with Steve Whittaker and Siobhan Duds. Oh yeah, V for Vendetta. This is set in London, I believe in the 90s, and this graphic novel tells like this really great heartbreaking story about this oppressive government that is being slowly dismantled by this guy named V. And V has a past with being, I don't want to ruin it, but we get into V's past and why he's doing what he's doing with the government, as well as this young girl named Evie who is by his side, and he is giving her information as to why he's doing what he's doing. So along with her, we're finding out, and we're also getting like this, oh, this artwork is so cool. It kind of reminds me, this artwork, it reminds me of like newspaper, like the newspaper columns, and they would have like a little like art section or comic section. I don't know, the feel of the paper as well, off topic, but the feel of the paper as well kind of feels like it. It's awesome. Yeah, I really obviously love this story, but there's something about reading it in a comic book that just makes it so freaking great. Yeah, definitely recommend V for Vendetta. Again, I noticed a couple of these are actually movies, so again, this is a really good movie if you haven't but watched it. But the comic, I've got to recommend the comic. All right. We are at the last comics, and they're gonna go hand in hand together. So yeah, you guys might not know this, but I am an Ed Brubaker fan, and Sean Phillips. It's gonna be the Reckless series by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. These are my babies. I love them, and I reread them quite a few times. So sometimes like my like monthly wrap-ups will be short, and it's because I am rereading these, but I can't really talk about them in the wrap-ups because I have made a video on my channel talking about these books. Yeah, in this whole like series, I can't really recommend one without recommending it all, so I'm just gonna tell you like an overview of what these comics are about, and let you decide from there if you want to go ahead and try to read them. Yeah, so in these stories we follow Ethan Reckless as well as his assistant Anna, and Ethan has this weird job of taking random jobs that people don't really have a conventional way to find solutions to, so they go to Ethan, and Ethan has no problem getting his hands dirty and solving this problem in a way he thinks is right. It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. He's gonna get the job done. In each of these comics, we start off already in the middle of the action, but that doesn't really take away from the story, like, because you know what's gonna happen. Throughout the comics, you're finding out how he got to that place, but you're also really enjoying the dialogue he has with other characters, as well as like the lengths he will go to for the people he loves. It's so wholesome, it's so great, and yeah, each story is different. The only thing that is connected really are like some reoccurring characters, as well as him and Anna and their friendship and their bond together. It's so great. I think my favorite out of all of these is The Ghost in You, and this is the first comic that I had picked up and I didn't even know it was a series. So once I found out it was a series, I got all of them, but I got them out of order. So then when I reread them in order, it doesn't really make a difference because like none of the stories are really connected. Once I read them in order, I was able to really fall in love with it more, mostly because just seeing his interaction with Anna for the first time and how she was like a little version of him, it's just awesome. I don't know, when someone meets their match and they just like aren't really aware of like, oh, is this how I sound like to other people? It's funny, it's hilarious. Yeah, I definitely recommend the Reckless series, obviously. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This has been my favorite comic video, one of my favorite comics, and usually I go back to them like once a year, if not like I'm picking it up randomly. Can't really tell you when or how. It's just like these are just like the comics I find real comfort in, mostly because I'll either relate to the characters or I just find comfort in the characters. Sometimes it's the dialogue, other times it's like the pictures. Like each one of these has their own special way of gripping me that like it's so hard to explain, but I think they are so worth the read, especially for the first time. And maybe if you don't vibe with it the first time, like that's totally cool, at least you gave it a chance. But like, I don't know, these stories, these characters, they are just so meaningful to me, and I hope you guys got some recommendations from this. These are my favorite comics, but there's so much out there more to discover that I definitely doubt this will be my last video, especially with you guys always recommending such great such great comics to me. Definitely doubt this will be my last video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This has been like my favorite comic books. Until the next video, I will see you. Please leave comments recommending me your favorite comics. That sounded so weird.